Boys watch some cartoons, sisters date buffoons. Let me tell you a story of Jordan Middle School. Calvin was the sweetest kiss, he didn't think that he would miss. Little did he know that Mindy would let him go. Kylie was a happy girl, living in a different world, dancing all night long and jamming to the song. Boys watch some cartoons, sisters date buffoons. Let me tell you a story of Jordan Middle School. Jordan Middle School, Jordan Middle School. Let me tell you a story of Jordan Middle School. Julian was a shooting star, but he didn't get that far. Dreams blew up in smoke as he relied on coke. Whatever Reg likes is fine with me. What turns him on and sets him free? Dancing all night long and jamming to the song. Boys watch some cartoons, sisters date buffoons. Let me tell you a story of Jordan Middle School. Jordan Middle School, Jordan Middle School. Let me tell you a story of Jordan Middle School. What up, everyone? It's your boy Red Hawk. It is Friday, May 22nd, 2026 at 5:46 p.m. in the late afternoon, and I'm going to elaborate more about my middle school experiences in David Starr Jordan Middle School, Burbank, California, 2001 to 2002. Now before we get to the meat of this video podcast, I'm going to elaborate further on my two lady friends, Sohaila and Kylie. Did I tell you that Sohaila looked like Princess Badrul Badur from the original Aladdin folktale? Well, guess what? I forgot to add that she looked like Eliza Dushku's clone. But Kylie, I think I might have mentioned that she was just as beautiful inside and out as Yuri Sakazaki, the karate princess from Art of Fighting and King of Fighters fighting video games, Jill Valentine from the survival horror game Resident Evil, and Tomb Raider's living legend, Lara Croft. Well, I forgot another celebrity that she reminds me of. Jennifer Connelly. That's right. Penny Benjamin from Top Gun Maverick and Frank Whaley's co-star in Career Opportunities back in the 90s. That being said, let's get right into some of the things that I remember from Jordan Middle School many years ago. As I start off, I'm going to start off just like I already did in some of my previous videos by saying, where do I even start? I was accelerated from 5th grade to 7th grade. Upon switching from Colegio de San Juan de Letran in Calamba, Laguna, Philippines, all the way up to coming to here in California for good. I never experienced 6th grade, and that's a fact. It's kind of like me going from Airman, pay grade E3 in the U.S. Navy to Petty Officer 2nd Class, E5, rated Officer Candidate under Instruction 2nd Class, OCU I2, when I was in Navy Officer Candidate School in Naval Station, Newport, Rhode Island, back in 2020. Kind of an eerie feeling since those are two coincidences that I'm going to have to treasure for the rest of my life in a rather bittersweet way, because I did not commission as an ensign in the U.S. Navy. I did not go to pilot training as a student naval aviator in NAS Pensacola, Florida. Bit of a sad thing, but I have to charge on as life goes on, even though I don't have my wings and well on my chest. But then again, I digress. Anyway, we're going back to way back. So press the rewind button. Okay, 2001, playing on VHS right now. It all starts with a really pleasant uh, weekday morning. I don't know what day school started back then in 2001, but I walked in the halls of David Starr Jordan Middle School. As after getting dropped off by my uncle in his old dark blue Acura car. I forgot the model and type, but that doesn't matter now. Uh, it was really nerve-wracking. But what really stood out in my memory right now was that there was this one kid, I think he was a nerdy boy with glasses. He was exclaiming to like either a sister or an aunt or a mom that, "Oh my gosh, I got the locker 666." And the female relative's like, "Oh my goodness, that's the devil's number." "Yeah, ain't that amazing?" "No, sweetheart, that ain't amazing. That's pretty weird." That will that will never escape my mind. It will always live rent free in here, inside my head. Okay, so first day, I meet my math teacher, Miss Cece DeFranco, a really blonde, all-American lady. That's like who was like in her mid-20s when she was teaching over at Jordan. She kind of reminded me of, I don't know, Blythe Danner and Cameron Diaz combined. Yes, that is a beautiful combination right there. Okay, why not throw in Blythe's daughter, Gwyneth Paltrow, in the middle? Boom, shakalaka. Uh, I gotta tell you. Okay, Mr. Franco was never my crush, alright? I was going for my female peers in my class. I was never into the teachers at all, to be honest. Because that's a bit of a creeper to think about, really. Crushing on teachers like that, especially those that are more mature. God, no, I would never go into that territory. I swear to God. Raising my right hand right now. Not doing that at all. Anyway. Fast forward a little bit later. I get smitten by Sahila. Every now and then, I would try to court her through unconventional ways. I didn't really try to get to know Sahila, the beautiful Arab girl in my class. I just kind of knew I had a crush on her. And, well, her first, and then secondly, my Slavic classmate, Kylie. I already told you guys about the time in the auditorium when we were watching the Civil War play and I poked Kylie in the back and she called me a frickin' troll for it while I feigned innocence. I'm not gonna go over that again. So Hyla, one of the highlights for me was that I was hanging out with my friend Little Danny one time. This nerdy Mexican boy with glasses who was stout as me back then. So Hyla happened to walk past us, and with black shoes on my feet, not necessarily tap dancing shoes. I tried to tap dance while singing "One Week" by BNL. That little four-man band from Scarborough, Toronto, Canada. It's been 1 week since you look at me. How can you hurt to decide when I'm angry? 5 days since you laugh at me. So you can get back together, come back and see me. 3 days since the afternoon. I realize it's all my fault. I'm going to tell you. Yesterday, you've forgiven me. But it will still be 2 days till I say I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know if she was actually impressed though, but if I recall visually through my memory bank, she kind of liked it. Not necessarily like exuberant kind of liking, like ah! Kind of like cheering for a rock band during a concert kind of liking, but still, she liked it in a subtle way. All right, fast forward. It was spring semester 2002. It was Renaissance Festival, and I didn't know that we were supposed to do dress up in Baroque style outfits, Baroque or Victorian style outfits, uh, throughout the festival one day at school. But I could remember my old pal Jamal, this slim black dude with an afro, with a reasonable sized afro. He looked like Jamie Foxx as Django in Django Unchained. Holy smokes. That was the funniest and most awesome thing ever. That Jamal, who dressed up like Django before Django Unchained was ever released in theaters. This was 2002. Django was released right around 2012 or 2013. Like 10 to 11 years later. Django! 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 I don't remember the lyrics, I'm sorry. Wanna know the thing on my end? You know what I did? As I was freaking out, I looked down on my matte olive jacket and my khaki pants, my black dress shoes, and my long white socks. Well, guess what? I had to improvise. I had to zip up my jacket so nobody would see my t-shirt, because nobody wore t-shirts back at the Renaissance era. And I just had to pull my socks and blouse my pants sleeves inside my socks so that I would appear to be a proper Englishman, Frenchman, or German, what have you. Those were the days, huh? Let's see here. Trying to dig up some more memories from my memory bank. I already told you some significant stuff about Sohaila and Kylie. And let's see here. Either rewind or fast forward, I don't know. But there's this librarian named Mrs. Simpson. She held an essay writing contest in the library. And I don't know what I wrote, but I happened to win a book called The $1,000,000 Shot. I'm trying to find the author right here. Dan Gutman. The $1,000,000 Shot is a popular children's sports novel by Dan Gutman, published originally in 1997. 1997. So 5 years later, I won a copy of that book. It was about this kid winning the championship for his school basketball team while using a coin that had Susan B. Anthony for luck, in which he would flip before each and every game. Just to predict whether his team would win or lose every single game up until they got to the championship, the grand championship level. One of my proud accomplishments, I'll admit. And then a little bit of a rewind to Mrs. Laurie Cruz's English class. She had us read this Southern novel called Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. It was about a family being oppressed by their white neighbors in either Georgia or South Carolina. More than likely South Carolina. It's like a story that had a moral lesson regarding unity no matter what kind of color you are, either black, white, brown, whatever. Because at the end of the novel, uh, the blacks and the whites help each other put out a fire in their neighborhood because either a barn or a house was burning down, and they had to put out the fire with water together. But still, the friend of the main protagonist committed a horrible crime, and he had to pay for it by doing his time in jail. The quote still kind of stays with me. I cried for TJ for as long as I can remember, and I misquoted that. If I apologize if I do. There's this lyrics the of the book's theme, and I would like, and sometimes I would amuse myself by singing it in a military cadence style tone. It goes a little something like this: Roll of thunder, hear my cry. Roll of thunder, hear my cry. Over the river by and by. Over the river by and by. All men coming down the road. All men coming down the road. Whip in hand to beat me down. Whip in hand to beat me down. But I ain't gonna never never. But I ain't gonna never never. Gonna let him turn me round. Gotta let him turn me round. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. Sound off. 1, 2. Sound off. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that is not what the original song, how the original song went, but that is just one thing that I came up with for my amusement. Oh, and another thing about Roll of Thunder. I got an F on my written assignment for the novel. For the novel's module. Ms. Cruz gave me a big fat F for that. Want to know why? Because instead of the putting out the fire lesson, with the putting out the fire scene with the unity lesson in it, well, guess what? In TJ's instance, I wrote that TJ ended up doing some kind of GTA style car chase scene as he was trying to get away from the cops, and while accruing a 2-star wanted level, and he gets popped in the end. That was like before I even knew about GTA 3 or even the predecessors for the PS1, the first Grand Theft Auto game, and then GTA 2, which were created by some kind of British company that later became Rockstar Games. God, those were the days, huh? Getting a big fat F just because you created something, you try to be creative about what actually happened when it didn't actually happen at all in the book. Those were the days, huh? Those were the days. Oh, one more memory. I don't have the music for this, but Jamal and I ended up respecting the bejesus out of my homie Jamal because he loved tacos so much, and I got the music for this, but I am going to do a little bit of the taco dance. It goes a little something like this, kind of like the swerving of the hands and the legs in reverse motions. Left hand with the right legs, right with the hands, left with the legs. And guess what? At weight training elective, I had a little dance off with Jamal. And my dance went a little something like this. And our big classmate, Big Davey, he's this big Mexican kid. He was like, "Oh my God, Reggie's got that big fat burrito. He's gonna win. Sorry, Jamal." Yeah, and yes, I did win that little dance off at weight training class, as we took breaks in between lifting weights, under the guidance of Mr. James Kibbe. Alright, that's it for memories. I'm gonna read some things that I am very much grateful for from the past. Folks, you know what's one of the few things I can be happiest about? It's that I never mentioned to bio dad and stepmom about the likes of Kylie and Sahila. Stepmom would have called them as the following examples. In the case of Sahila, with her being Arab, stepmom would have referred to her as either Si Arabiana, female Arab, Si Irakiana, female Iraqi, Si Syriana, female Syrian, Si Iraniana, female Iranian, or Si Jordaniana, female Jordanian, and many other proper nouns for ethnic Arab races out there. In the case of Kylie, stepmom would have been like Si Bosniana, female Bosnian, Si Belarusiana, female Belarusian, Si Albaniana, the female Albanian, Si Serbiana, the female Serbian, Si Chechna, the Czech girl, Si Estoniana, the Estonian girl. You got what I'm saying? All the more because my stepmother was a big bigot. Yeah, that's right. There, I said it. She was the bigot, not me. Alright. And other things, I don't plan to address that much of stepmom and bio dad like I did a seconds ago, but stepmom never splashed me with a basin of water like she said she would anytime, in a harsh tone. And I'm just thankful also that bio dad didn't do the unspeakable ass acts on me himself. Well, thankfully, he was never a serial diddler. He was never that. And that was one of the only things I pretty much respect about him. Even though I don't want to, even though I just don't want to talk to him anymore for good. Alright. Another memory, and that I forgot to disclose too. I'm just thankful for Miss Cece DeFranco for being my math teacher, and one memory that stood out from the back of my head was that Mr. Franco would read announcements about Fiddler on the Roof because the play was happening in the school. Granted, I never saw it, but I had some friends in the choir perform in it. And also, another memory that's kind of solemn, because there was this little trumpet player named Gio back in my beginning band class under Dr. John Whitener. And if I recall, Dr. Whitener was doing the vibrating trumpeter motion just to mock the living bejesus out of Gio, because if I recall, Gio was fidgeting so much during one practice. And so Dr. Whitener had to pretty much awaken his senses by kind of doing a funny imitation of him. Alright, we're getting into the 25-minute mark, folks. That's all I got. I don't know why I have been so pretty hyped up today. Maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of push-ups and pull-ups lately. And look at my pull-up bar over there. Even though I am not a Marine, never earned a title. But I can tell you, folks, I can max out my push-ups now within the range of 85 to 88. That on top of my 1 hour runs 2 times a week. I think I've said too much. That's it. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals. Red Hawk out. Peace.